Shrugged by Ayn Rand. Quotes and thoughts. Now, page 498. There are no absolutes, said Dr. Pritchett. Reality is only an illusion. How does that woman know that her son is dead? How does she know that he ever existed? People with pleading eyes and desperate faces crowded into tents where evangelists cried in triumphant gloating that man was unable to cope with nature, that his science was a fraud, that his mind was a failure, that he was reaping punishment for the sin of pride, for his confidence in his own intellect, and that only faith in the power of mystic secrets could protect him from the fissure of a rail or from the blowout of the last tire on his last truck. Love was the key to the mystic secrets, they cried. Love and selfless sacrifice to the needs of others. So the philosophy of objectivism, which Ayn Rand invented, is very rational, very individualistic. And she introduced a very interesting term into the world of philosophy, which is rational self-interest. That opposes another type of self-interest, irrational, in which the person may think that they are smarter, therefore they have the right to manipulate, to lie, etc. That's irrational. And the problem with that is others think that way too, and they can do the same to you as well. So it's not productive, it's not sustainable, and it backfires. In the long run, especially, it backfires. So irrational self-interest or that type of egotism or egocentrism is not a very useful thing for an honest person. However, rational self-interest is when I understand that it would be to my own benefit if I were to live, or if I live a life of integrity, of honesty, and I do not cheat and lie so that others do not do the same to me. That's rational self-interest. I give you my best and I expect you to give me your best in terms of needs that we have, or interests or values. We exchange values. As a tutor, I try to give you my best service, right? And I expect from you the same. Like as a student, you should give me your attention as much as you can. You should pay for my classes, etc. So that's rational self-interest. That's win-win. And I wanted to quote these passages because it's so immoral. And see, it's not manipulating, doesn't have to be purely about religion or politics. Manipulation can come in many different ways, including taking ideas from, oh, thank you, Zach, thank you so much for the gifts. Manipulation can come from very surprising sources. For instance, people can take these ideas from science, like the famous mental experiment, like Schrodinger's cat, yeah? As long as the cat is in the box, we don't know whether the cat is dead or alive. Well, in real life, it doesn't work like that, yeah? The cat is either dead or alive. So Schrodinger's paradigm is not quite practical. But people take these kind of mental experiments. People take concepts from quantum theory, And quantum physics. Oh, thank you on YouTube as well. Thank you for the hearts. I encourage others to give me thumbs up on YouTube, and tapping on the screen on TikTok is also welcome. So I will read this passage again because this is so immoral. This is so ugly. But those people, like, and we have people like this in real life as well, they just don't realize it, or they don't want to admit the fact that it's quite fraudulent and ugly. So Dr. Pritchett's idea: there are no absolutes. Reality is only an illusion. How does that woman know that her son is dead? How does she know that he ever existed? So this doesn't take religion. Yes, this type of manipulation can be pseudoscientific, right? Thank you to those two people who gave me thumbs up on YouTube. I appreciate that. Thanks a lot. And hi, Easton. Where are you joining us from, Easton? From what country? For those of you who are just joining, I'm reading passages from Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. Okay? Quotes and thoughts. And then the second quote was about love being the answer. This can be also religious, but it can be philosophical as well. Yeah. These ideas are alive. They thrive in societies where you have a lot of ignorance, a lot of economical problems, a lot of insecurity. The people, actually, even here in San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles, two Jehovah's Witnesses came to my place yesterday morning. That was funny. So those slave owners of the mind, they can use religion, they can use politics, they can use some scientific ideas to convince you that your mind is powerless, that you shouldn't follow your reason, you should follow your heart, you should follow your emotions, and you should follow them. Of course, they don't say it directly, follow me, give me your reason, but that's what it boils down to, actually. Right, page 528. He saw the look of a peculiar panic growing in her eyes. It was not the look of understanding, but of a ferocious refusal to understand, as if she wanted to turn the violence of her emotion into a fog screen, as if she hoped not that it would blind her to reality, but that her blindness would make reality cease to exist. This is a very sad mental state that people can get themselves into when they refuse to be rational, when they live based on their beliefs and emotions and feelings, whims and fears. I come from a small country, Armenia, and I've seen this in my community over and over again. In the context of religion, in the context of nationalism, like Armenia and Azerbaijan, neighboring countries that are in conflict. And Armenia is officially, the population of Armenia is more than 3.5 million, but a lot of us think that those numbers are fake, because for 25 years Armenia was ruled by the Republicans. Yeah, there we have Republicans too, and they were pretty corrupt. They falsified the elections at least twice, and we knew that falsification was their brand. Therefore, we, when I say we, I mean reasonable citizens who question things. We do not just believe official data. Since 2018, a new government came, but the thing is, this new government kept a lot of old officials, and some paradigms and some processes continue to be preserved, to be maintained. Therefore, I still am not sure that the population of Armenia is 3.5. Even if it was the case, the population of Azerbaijan is, I think, 10 million. And Turkey is a very big ally of Azerbaijan. So the population of Turkey, I think, is around 90 million. So it's 100 million people, if only we take Azerbaijan and Turkey, versus 3.5 million if we are that much in Armenia. So the math doesn't, and reason doesn't support Armenian nationalism. If you're like, we are the enemies of the Turk is my enemy, and that's the sentiment of many Armenians. On Facebook, you can see those stupid images, the Turk is my enemy, blah blah blah. And they just believe, Armenians believe that they are invincible. And we had a war with Azerbaijan. We had a 30 plus year long conflict with Azerbaijan. And fortunately, seems like it's going to, it's entering a new phase. So there is a possibility of peace. But a lot of Armenians don't even believe that we lost the war in 2020, which is the case. We lost it. A lot of them think that the new prime minister is corrupt. He is part of a conspiracy against Armenians. If we make yet another war against Azerbaijan, we will win back, etc. So blind faith is super destructive. It can be in your personal life, it can be in your social life, in politics, etc. Blind faith is super destructive. Lillian, the wife of Henry Reardon, is going through that as well. She's that type of a woman. She doesn't admit that reality is real. No? Okay. Hello, Animal Protection. How are you, Arthur? Now, page 529. But I have the right to demand it. It's Lillian's words. But I have the right to demand it. I own your life. It's my property. My property by your own oath. You swore to serve my happiness. Not yours, mine. What have you done for me? You've given me nothing. You've sacrificed nothing. You've never been concerned with anything but yourself. Your work, your meals, your talent, your mistress. What about me? I hold the first claim. I'm presenting it for collection. You're the account I own. This is even scary, and thank you for the hearts, Animal Protection. Thank you so much. High five to you. And to YouTube folks who are liking me on YouTube, thank you so much as well. Thank you to the third like on YouTube. I appreciate that. And hi, Sergey Safarian. Hi there. Thanks a lot. Likes, comments, and donations and gifts are all welcome. You can also share the live, okay? Now, manipulators, and this is the parasite, you know, when they want to control your life. They think that you owe them. It can be, this type of poisonous relationship can be between parents and children, husbands and wives, a government official and a citizen. This is a very poisonous paradigm, sort of altruistic. In altruism and in collectivism, you know, you owe them. The individual is nothing, the collective is everything. And they speak in the name of some roles or collectives. Sergey says, hi, how are you? Long time no see. Yes, Sergey, I'm fine. How are you? Are you in Yerevan? So yeah, this is very ugly, the way she speaks, but this is their sentiment. Sometimes parents think like this, especially Armenian parents, you know. But I'm sure there are other parents who are similar too. Like they think that the child is their property. Armenian parents can be super controlling, super jealous in a way, you know. My son should become a boxer. My daughter should never be late, etc. So if you are mine, then I control you. I owe you. That's super ugly, super disgusting, and that creates a lot of conflict actually between people who enter that kind of poisonous relationship, you know. All right, now page 530. He saw who was the accuser and who the accused. Okay, I'll just read the whole passage because it's interesting. This is Henry Reardon. He was analyzing his wife, the behavior of his wife, and now these are his words, his thoughts. He was hearing his own voice saying her words, saying them to Dagny in the sun-striped bedroom of Alice Wyatt's house. He was seeing in the nights behind him Dagny's face in those moments when, his body leaving hers, she lay still with a look of radiance that was more than a smile, a look of youth, of early morning, of gratitude to the fact of one's own existence. And he was seeing Lillian's face, as he had seen it in bed beside him, a lifeless face with evasive eyes, with some feeble sneer on its lips, and the look of sharing some smutty guilt. He saw who was the accuser and who the accused. He saw the obscenity of letting impotence hold itself as virtue, and damn the power of living as a sin. He saw what the clarity of direct perception, in the shock of a single instant, the terrible ugliness of that which had once been his own belief. And this passage is very, very beautiful. He saw who was the accuser and who the accused. He saw the obscenity of letting impotence hold itself as virtue, and damn the power of living as a sin. This is beautiful. So Sergey says he's in Armenia. I am in California, Sergey. And you're doing well. Great. Nice to hear that. So these, like in Christianity, for instance, and many religions, healthy sexuality is condemned, right? Like the idea of original sin. You are born and you're already guilty. That's such a sinister way of manipulating and controlling people. That's just terrible, you know. And then damning sexual desire as something bad, like women who were sexually active and expressed healthy sexual interest in medieval times, even in 18th, maybe 19th century as well, were deemed as or labeled as hysteric, and they were cured of their hysteria. So impotence, lifelessness, like condemning the sexuality of a sexual being, that's so twisted, you know, that's so wrong. And all the philosophies that do that, it's just terrible. Like if you have sexual organs, if you have sexual desire, you should be happy about fulfilling your sexual desires and wishes, right? In a healthy way. When there is mutual consent between consenting individuals, you know? But no, in many philosophies and religions, you are blamed for being a healthy sexual being. You are blamed for something that you are born with, something that's natural, that's beautiful. And that's the ugliness and the twisted way of the manipulators who want to push you into guilt and manipulate you, like you are bad, you are guilty, you should follow us, follow our orders, because you are inferior. And you're inferior not because of what you did, but because of who you are, how you are born with, you know? You are guilty as a sexual being, as a, not even as a human being, which is itself already terrible, you know? But as a mammal, who has sexual organs and therefore sexual desires. That's so ugly. And in this passage on page 530, Ayn Rand describes it in a very on point and sharp, precise way. You know, that's why I chose to quote that passage as well about impotence being held as virtue. That's terrible. Page 531. Okay, and I encourage others to give me thumbs up on YouTube and tapping on the screen on TikTok. All right, now. No, I think I'll skip this one. Okay, I'll quote. Okay. But it is their own fault, said Eugene Lawson. Turning page 533. Okay. Turning aggressively to Dr. Ferris. It's their lack of social spirit. They refuse to recognize that production is not a private choice, but a public duty. They have no right to fail, no matter what conditions happen to come up. They've got to go on producing. It's a social imperative. A man's work is not a personal matter, it's a social matter. There's no such thing as a personal matter or a personal life. That's what we've got to force them to learn. Pretty collectivist, pretty left collectivist, like Marxist, socialist, communist, etc. So these people hate anything that's personal. It's yet another form of collectivism. So in the philosophy of objectivism, it's collectivism versus individualism, irrationality versus reason. Okay, basically that's about it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Next, from page 534. Who cares whether you'd have any use for them, said Fred Kinnan. They need jobs. That's what comes first. Need, doesn't it? Not your profits. It's not a question of profits, yelled Taggart hastily. I haven't said anything about profits. I haven't given you any grounds to insult me. It's just a question of where in hell we'd get the money to pay your men when half our trains are running empty and there's not enough freight to fill a trolley car. So this is a conversation between collectivists, including a collectivist businessman who is not, who is refusing reason again, who doesn't care about making money, building wealth, not just for himself but also for his company. So the funny thing, yes, when it's not a question of profits, I haven't said it, I haven't given you any grounds to insult me. So in his paradigm, going after profit is as if insulting, like you're greedy, you're bad. So of course, naturally, he is a struggling business person as well, and he helps Washington in the novel. He is a powerful, rich person who has close ties to Washington. He helps Washington to create more directives and legal structures that strangle the business more. So he's trapping himself. But being an irrational person, being a collectivist, he just thinks that the producers will produce anyway, and the collective will squeeze and will milk the creative producers. Hi, Witching Well, what's up? That's Ned Taggart. Sorry, not Ned, James Taggart, the president of the Taggart Railroad, yes. And next quote is from page 535. It is not essential whether you can afford it or not, said Taggart coldly. You have to be prepared to make some sacrifices. The public needs railroads. Need comes first, above your profits. So again, James Taggart throws the same profit card at someone else in their discussion, and it's funny how the term profit is used as something derogatory, and it is done nowadays as well. A lot of collectivists, especially left-wing collectivists, they use the term businessman or profit as something derogatory. And it's funny, there is such an oxymoron, like a Marxist millionaire. There is one guy who lives in China. Like, it's just so weird, so funny. It's as if you were a grapist, using the TikTok term, in order not to be banned or something. Grapist who would also advocate for virginity and chastity. It doesn't just add up, it doesn't work like that. That's funny. So, a businessman who doesn't understand what a profit is, how a business is maintained, is a sad thing. And just like, it makes me think of those Russian oligarchs, for instance, when they first support the dictator and then they are devoured themselves. That's a funny, sad thing, and every one of them thinks that they will be different. Their case is different. They are smarter than the previous one. It won't happen to them, etc., etc. But it does. So page 537. Now, okay, I think this is just interesting and maybe at places funny. The description of the characters by Ayn Rand. Wesley Mouch had a long, square face and a flat-topped skull, made more so by a brush haircut. His lower lip was a petulant bulb, and the pale, brownish pupils of his eyes looked like the yolks of eggs smeared under the not fully translucent whites. His facial muscles moved abruptly, and the movement vanished, having conveyed no expression. No one had ever seen him smile. All right. Now the next quote on the same page. There were people who believed that mediocrity was safe. The man who now sat in front of his desk had been taught that the law of causality was a superstition and that one had to deal with the situation of the moment without considering its cause. By the situation of the moment, they had concluded that Wesley Mudge was a man of superlative skill and cunning, since millions aspired to power. But he was the only who had achieved it. So the law of causality, when everything has a cause, and that cause leads to effects. In the minds of some people, cause and effect, or action and reaction, are not interdependent and connected. They think that they can, for instance, go into debt and not pay back. They can do something and not face the consequences. They think that they can fool nature or other people, like hippies. Sometimes they would be high and they would try to fly, literally, jumping outside of the window. And I saw someone who told me that he had a similar feeling that he could fly when he was high as well. So, similarly, there are religious and political leaders, individuals who think they are smarter, they are beyond or above the law of causality, you know? And usually it fires back at them and they face the consequences. Like if you fly outside the window, you fall. If you try to manage your economy against the rules of the market and without understanding the basics of economics, you can destroy the economy that you are running, just like with the USSR. So, the law of causality is important. Being a rational human being is good for you, first of all, you know? It helps you maintain your life, it helps you in the long run. Okay? Right, I think that's it. Now I will probably try to connect with some people on TikTok and let's see if we can have some interesting exchange on philosophy and literature. Let's try this person. What? Alright, single lady. I'll try this. Okay. Hi there. Are you guys interested in having a conversation? Hey, I'm fine. How are you? Would you be interested in talking about philosophy or literature? No. Would you be interested in talking about philosophy? No, she doesn't hear me. Okay. Then we'll try someone else. Okay. Cash. Who is this person? I don't know. But let's try. This guy. And this lady. Norris. Okay, let's try this person. And this lady. No. Oh, I mentioned Jehovah's Witnesses and someone's nickname is Jehovah something. Well, maybe if he's up to debate, I'll try that. Okay, no, he is not up to that. Okay, so no, unfortunately, no interesting people on TikTok as of now. I could go on with yet another quote, or a couple of them. Page 540. This is the day of the heart. It's the weak, the meek, the sick, and the humble that must be the only objects of our concern, was saying someone. His lower lip was twisting in soft, lecherous motions. And again, it's quote from him. Those who are big are here to serve those who aren't. If they refuse to do their moral duty, we've got to force them. There once was an age of reason, but we've progressed beyond it. This is the age of love. So yes, it was one of those collectivists. We must force them, and this is the age of love. It's very collectivist, and they usually use the term love. But then, when you go deeper, you discover that love for them means sacrifice. You have to lovingly sacrifice your needs, your desires, your ambition, your property, your time, your money, and so on. So, this quote is very representative of the collectivists. Oh, yes, and I could read the first part of that as well. Lawson looked away, and it's a quote from Lawson. To hell with them. Why should we worry about them? We've got to run the world for the sake of the little people. It's intelligence that's caused all the trouble of humanity. And then the same idea that it's the age of love, we need to force the producers, the rich, the creators, to produce for the sake of the weak. And this is so twisted, but unfortunately this idea is in the air, and a lot of people are contaminating others with those looters, with that mindset of a looter, of a brute, of someone who wants to solve his or her or their problems through forcing, through physical force. And that's terrible. But it's very commonplace. Okay, now maybe another quote. A genius is an intellectual scavenger and a greedy hoarder of the ideas which rightfully belong to society, from which he stole them. All thought is theft. If we do away with private fortunes, we'll have a fairer distribution of wealth. If we do away with the genius, we'll have a fairer distribution of ideas. That's so horrible. But there are people who think in those lines, Are we here to talk business or are we here to kill one another? Asked Fred Keenan. Yeah, I think I can. No, okay, I think I skipped the rest. This part. Okay, I'll read the whole thing. Dr. Ferris. He's a doctor. The person who speaks is a learned, educated man. Okay? Genius is a superstition, Jim, said Dr. Ferris slowly, with an odd kind of emphasis, as if knowing that he was naming the unnamed in all their minds. There's no such thing as the intellect. A man's brain is a social product, a sum of influences that he's picked up from those around him. Nobody invents anything. He merely reflects what's floating in the social atmosphere. A genius is an intellectual scavenger and a greedy hoarder of the ideas, etc. So this is just so wrong, but unfortunately, I even saw a documentary that said capitalism was not invented by, who was it, Smith. Capitalism was invented by nameless and faceless masses who were doing the trade. It's as if saying Mona Lisa was not painted by Da Vinci, it was painted by his nameless and faceless pupils, students, and individuals whom Da Vinci was exploiting in his workshop, That's pretty crude, that's pretty dishonest, that's pretty ugly. But collectivists, socialists, communists, leftists, they really think in those terms, and that's the monstrosity of their ideology. They really believe those things, and they really are after the abled, the successful, the smart. They think that those individuals need to be abused. They need to be just like in the Matrix, when you have those units where the individual is put and the energy of the body is used by the machines. So collectivists have similar ideas. They think that thinking minds need to be forced into producing for the collective, and that's so wrong, so ugly, so dishonest. Okay, I think I'll try one more time. Let's see if we can find some intelligent people on TikTok who might be interested in discussing philosophy or literature. Not yet. Okay, someone is joining. Let's see. Oh, hey. Oh no, he's not. He's not interested. Well, I should try a little more. Let's see. Hello. Hey, all good. How are you? How are you?
I'm okay.
Cool. My life is about philosophy. Would you be interested in talking about philosophy? Or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, are you a person of faith or of reason? Let's start with that. What's more important to you, like facts or faith and belief?
Faith in belief.
Okay. Are you a Christian? If I may
Yeah.
ask. Okay, cool. So, could you please, if you'd like to, okay, if you'd like to, could you please tell me why faith and belief are more important to you than reason and reality and facts?
Come again, please.
Yeah, sure. Why faith is more important than facts, reality, reason?
Important to me because my Bible tell me that have faith
Yeah,
in the Lord
yeah.
and things shall work up. So since my Bible let me to know that, so I
Oh,
just believe in faith.
okay, so your Bible says so.
Yeah.
Can you tell me why do you think that the Bible is the source of truth? What if you take another book and, my book tells me blah blah blah, and this is why it's true. So you're doing that with the Bible. So can you tell me why the Bible is the source of truth for you?
The Bible let me to know exactly what happened. Uh, you know, when those the Bible let me to know Jesus Christ is the true living God, and He came to die for our sins.
Yes, but everything you're telling me is written in the Bible, right?
Yeah.
How do you decide that the Bible is the best book that you need to follow? Why do you decide that? Based on what?
Based on my faith.
Well, you are telling me that your faith comes from the Bible, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of a loop. Yes, you believe in the
Yes.
Bible, and the Bible says this, and that's enough for you. Okay, in that case, some people say that another book, like the Quran, yeah, or like the book of the Muslims, or
Yeah.
let's say, some Hindu book. Yes, some people will say, no, the Bible is wrong, and this other book is right. So, how do you decide that they are wrong with their holy book and you are right with your holy book? How do you do that?
I I don't judge other people
Mm-hmm.
based on what they choose to do or who they choose to serve.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Bible says we shall not judge each other. So I don't judge people based on what they believe in.
Okay. So we could say you are a moderate Christian. You do not think that other books are false and the Bible is the only true holy book. Is that the case?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are a moderate Christian, not a radical one. Okay, okay. Do you have any favorite story from the Bible?
Yeah, I do.
Could you tell me which one is that?
I love the story of King David.
Oh, King David. Okay.
Yeah.
That's an interesting story. So I'm just talking, yes? Now I'm not trying to prove anything. It's just important to talk to different people, even if we think differently. So I'm just curious. So we have many stories about, different stories about King David in the Bible, yes? Which one is your favorite? When he fights Goliath, or when he is with the other king and they are great friends, or some people say even lovers. So which part of King David? What do you like about him?
How he become king?
Oh, how he became a king.
Yeah.
Could you please remind me? I'm not sure I remember that. How did he become a king? Could you please share with me that?
King David was the son of Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
And King David was abandoned by his own father. He was in the field taking care of the sheep while his brethren was sleeping on mattresses, and David was sleeping on the ground taking care of the sheep. So God looked at the whole situation and knew that David was a faithful man. So he decided to send the prophet to go and anoint David as king.
I didn't catch one part of what you said, to be honest. Could you say in one or two sentences how did he become a king? Was it foretold by someone? Like someone came to him and said, "You will become a king one day"? Is that it?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So it was like a promise. Yes, a promise to him by someone. Yeah. And why is that close to your heart? What do you like about it?
I love the story because the story let me know that you should not abandon your own child no matter what.
You should not abandon your own what? Child?
Yeah.
So it's about family, yes? Like you should be together as a family, father and child, yeah? Okay. Okay. Well, it was nice talking to you. Thank you very much for your time and see you, okay?
Okay.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, yeah. If we have someone who could give some reasons, that would be more interesting. I'm not interested in pushing hard, against. Hi there.
How you doing, sir?
I'm fine, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Cool. My life is about philosophy. Would you be interested in talking about philosophy?
Philosophy.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I have it in me at this moment. I've been traveling for my birthday.
Oh,
I'm still traveling now. I just came in here with some good vibes.
okay.
Um, Philosophy, yeah, you probably got to get me on another day. I'll be honest with you.
Okay,
I ain't gonna
okay.
say I lie or embarrass myself at this moment. So
Oh no, it's not really about embarrassing, but it's yeah, sure. If you don't want to, that's fine.
yeah,
How?
I'm just chilling. How you doing, sir?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Still traveling.
Cool.
Been
So,
traveling.
i-
Celebrate my birthday.
is it today or it's like already
It
gone?
was last Saturday. Took a trip.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. You know how it goes. I can't say too much online, so
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Still traveling.
Okay, so enjoy your traveling then.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right. So
Bye.
I appreciate you.
Bye.
Grace and peace.
All right. To you too. Yeah. Now I'm interested in meaningful conversation. I think because of TikTok regulations, some people are really afraid, afraid of discussing or saying what they really think. Hello. Oh, the music is too loud though. Hey. No, that's too loud. No. Okay. It's a challenge, meeting intellectual people is kind of challenging. Okay. Yeah. I might try this other person. And that will be it for today. Okay. No. Okay. So then that's it for today. Thank you for being with me. Subscribe, okay? And likes, comments, donations, and shares are all welcome, okay? I am reading Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged, like reading quotes and sharing my thoughts around that. And I'm doing this a few times a week, like maybe 4 or 5 times a week. So thank you to those who were tapping on the screen on TikTok. I appreciate that. Thanks a lot. And Trap, thank you for following me. And I will see you guys soon. Okay? Have a great day and goodbye.